Welcome to another episode of the Carry Unplugged. Today, we have a truly exceptional guest, one who embodies art, culture, and athleticism. He's a renowned choreographer and dancer, a member of Toon House, and a creative visionary behind many of the electrifying performances here in the BVI and beyond. But when he's not commanding the stage as a dancer, he's fostering and shaping athletes into greatness as an assistant coach with Talent X Track Club, using his experience as a former Carifta qualifier and competitor. From dance workshops to mentoring rising stars, he is making an undeniable impact here in the Virgin Islands. So, without further ado, please help me in welcoming Khiry Creque to the podcast. So, how you doing, Khiry?
I've been good, man. I've been good.
Yeah, that's good. So, we know you to be a dancer. So, can you tell us about how you know, got into dancing?
Well, for me, I got into dancing. I grew up with like the Jamaican culture, so I've always been around dancing,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So since I was little, I've been dancing. I started taking it serious, kind of like in tour form, around the time where like most people probably might not know this, but dance was an elective. So if you didn't want to do PE, you could
Yeah, you have to do dance.
Yeah, so I had this lady named Miss Catalano, so she came in and she was teaching us like ballroom and so forth. And then, long story short, we kind of like created like a hip hop group, and that's basically how we got started.
Okay.
You know, so it was like a whole big group of us, and then as you go along, people who ain't that serious about
They
it
eventually drop
would,
out.
yeah, they would drop out. They still support and so forth, but it'd be like, me want to be no dancer,
I feel you.
and yeah, fast forward now, still doing it.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. So, when I was doing some research on you, I found out that you're a member of Toon House. So, can you like tell us what Toon House really is and is it still around?
Yeah, Toon House is still around. Basically, I was a creator of Toon House. So anybody that didn't know, like, I was a part of a group called JD. We're
Okay.
still part of a group called JD. It's just that other members don't live here anymore.
okay.
So when they moved away to school or just work-wise
Yeah.
and so forth, I created Toon House. So Toon House was a group, started out as a group, still is a group, but now has turned into a business, even though it's still a group.
Okay.
So now it's basically Toon House Entertainment. So that deals with like live shows, dance workshops, and so forth. And yeah.
Okay. So, is it like a strictly business or like is it like a group of you guys just?
It started out as a group. Now I would say it's like strictly business. So it's like probably like 2 or 3 of us.
Makes sense. Okay. So, you started like dancing in high school and then you're still doing it now. So, over the years, can you like describe your dance style like as it was then to now?
Yeah, a big evolution, I would say. Cause back then, anybody that knew me back then would know that I was like very robotic.
Oh, robotic. Okay. Yeah.
So they'd be like, "Oh, you the robot guy," That's what people would, if they see me, they would address me as that. And as the years have developed, with Oma happening, I went away and moved away for a little bit and came back, and I was training up there in New York. So I moved to New York, and over the years, like, I just broke away from that one-dimensional type of person. You know, now you see me. I do dancehall, I do Afrobeats, I do contemporary, you know, and so forth. So as I've gotten older, I would say like my style has evolved because like the more you consume and the more you learn, the more you evolve and the more you change. You know, so yeah, over the years, I would say like my dance style has evolved a lot.
That's good. That's good. So do you have like a memorable performance of that you have done like in your entire lifetime? Like this one is like your favorite that you have done. You have any?
I got two. I got a good and a bad one.
All right.
Yeah.
Later on me.
All right. So let's say the bad one first.
Okay.
Cause crazy enough, me and my girlfriend we were just talking about this. Cause she asked me somewhat like a similar question. So I was like, the bad one was it was like our first ever hip hop performance, and I always tell people like I always remember it. You know, cause we got booed off stage. Yeah, we performed by the complex for a basketball game. And during the whole performance, like you know, you go look out into the crowd and see people's face, right? And during that whole time, right, I watching people's faces and everybody was watching us like, what the hell is you guys doing? Like we were that bad.
Like it was not. It couldn't have been that bad.
We were that bad. Dog. Like when I tell you, like stone silence, right?
Wow.
Stone silence. Like my friend them, cause a couple of my friends them used to play ball and so forth, and the man were playing in the game and so forth, and the man come out and the man said like, "Yo, Khiry, my dog, you know, he like dying it, dying it." He said like, "We gonna need you not to ever do that."
Wow.
Yep.
So that was when you were in high school.
Yeah, that's when we were in high school. I was still in high school still.
Wow.
So that was like our first ever like hip hop performance. And why I always say people like I will always remember that is because that's the performance that drove me to be better.
I like that.
That people ain't understand like that light a fire under me and the rest of my boys them like. You know, I say we were like a big group.
Yeah.
The people them that didn't stick around after, they were like, okay, respectfully, me want to get booed again. And so forth. Be like, that's cool. That's cool. Me and my boys and was like, okay, next time we doing that, we never letting that happen to us again.
Really?
Yeah. So I tell you, like, that was before we went on summer break, and literally all of us bust down. We were in the lab. We were training.
Wow.
We were getting better. And the next time we touch a stage, anytime after that, it's been cheers. Even before we hit the stage, people will be cheering and being like, "Oh, this."
Yeah, they're supposed to be bad. Yeah.
You know, so that I always would say that's one of my favorite memories, but still is a bad memory because it kind of like made us. It kind of made me who I am and made the rest of us who we are today. You know, and my favorite one, I would definitely have to say, cause this is like an old school one, but I think I can always remember it because it was one of the performances where we literally like we just steal the show. It was Misfit Farm.
They don't got no more.
It's called J80 on the Moon, where we literally came from the ceiling. Yeah.
You have this recording? I want like.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You could probably find it on YouTube. So,
okay, I don't know who means.
You know, I'll probably send it to you so you can like drop it in and
show
the highlight. But it's literally called JD on the Moon, and we literally came from the ceiling like on a whole lift and everything and so forth.
Yeah, that's cool.
And the next day in the newspaper, you know, when people actually used to read newspaper, you know.
No,
people was like, no, it's TikTok. People was actually like talking more about our performance than the actual people who win the show.
Wow.
You know, and it was crazy to be like, yo, did you see that performance?
Yeah,
like,
that performance was
It was like they mentioned in the first like 3 sentences about Mr. Misfit Farm, so and so.
After
this is that thing, and then they say, and the show was captivated by a thrilling performance by JD, and the man had like a whole 2 paragraphs just talking
just
about
on the
us.
performance.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like if Misfit Farm just had this one section in the newspaper, we take up 3/4. You know?
Hey, that's ranks in
it was tough. I think that's probably why the man never like invite us back after. Like for real. Cause
I steal the show.
like we literally just steal the show.
Wow.
So it was like thing there. So
and that was when you were still in high school at the same time.
I think that was around the time, that was like my last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which like in terms of time frame, you start dancing, let me say Todd Farm.
Yeah.
And then you still had Fifth Farm back then. Oh, just Fifth Farm.
It was just Fifth Farm.
That was about a 2-year gap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
That's cool. So like you evolved, y'all evolved in that 2-year span too.
Basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the thing about it for us is like, and it's cool to kind of like go back to it, you know, because like for me now, I'm kind of like going back to that version of me, like where we were hours in the studio, we were hours training, you know, like no matter what we would do, we would always be like, let me go to the studio. You know, we might not even plan it out. Like if we have like, you know, we got 7 days in the week, at least 6 to 5 times out of that week, we in the studio.
Wow.
Yeah. And we in there just for hours, even just chilling. Even if we dancing.
Just being in the space.
We just in the space, we just creating, we talking, knocking ideas around with one another.
Makes sense.
And so forth. So it was just like constantly training. Like people don't know that, you know, like we very much like self-taught. You know, cause I never went to a school and be like, teach me hip hop. I basically just watch things on YouTube and
you just learn from that.
just learned from that.
Wow.
You know, and then all I did was just grow up on that and grow up on it and evolve it more and get better and get better.
Wow, that's inspiring. Like the fact to see you guys like actually evolve over that 2-year span and like you didn't let that one performance hold on back because me gonna let you know. People will be like go in the shower and be like, "Bah, yeah, me want to do that again." Like exactly.
Yeah. You'll be so defeated. You'll be like, "Man, I don't ever want to experience that again."
You want to see your face.
Let me take that boy here. So like, I think that's how the greats become the greats. You know? Both Lane just jump up one day and say like he was fastest, man. You know, at one point in time when
he was losing
before he was winning gold medals in the Olympics, Panama was getting beat by other people. You know. He didn't just become the Usain Bolt that we know just like that.
You gotta lose to win.
You gotta lose to win.
Indeed.
You know, but people only see, so in today's day and age, people just see, you know, the victories.
The victories. They don't really see the hard work.
See the hard work that went into it.
True.
You know.
Is there any challenges that come with being a dancer or choreographer?
A lot. Because you'll experience the word no a lot.
What do you mean by that? Like they
like the profession, like anybody that does the arts, or especially if they're a dancer, they could relate. You know, the profession isn't as respected as it should be. You know, like. You go to, for instance, you go to a Beyonce concert, right? You be like, you're going to get your money's worth.
True.
What do you think is the reason why, outside of Beyonce being a great singer and a great performer, because me taking nothing away from her.
Okay.
Outside of her, if it was just her on the stage, would the performance be as big as it is?
Not really. Because, like, okay, I'll put in perspective for people who don't understand it. You look at a Chris Brown concert, right?
Exactly.
My son, if Chris Brown ain't up there dancing around and like the whole unit, like everybody just dancing, everybody choreograph, everybody like sync up as one. Without that, like it wouldn't be like pleasing to the eye. You understand? So like if Chris Brown would just go up there like singing like the national anthem or like singing like he was going to sing the national anthem, like it look boring. So
yeah, because it's just like. It'll just be you just going to a concert where you'd be like, yeah, he's just singing his songs.
Yeah, but he ain't really into it, you know?
But you pay all that money to go see a performance. And dancers are a big, integral part of the performance.
True.
You know? They help make your performance.
True.
You know?
Because when you look at Shensi and them, like, especially when she had come down here for Village or one time, like, dancers, and then now I seen Babe and some other local bands incorporating dancers in there, which is good. So, I mean, I ain't saying that is where it should be, like, as you said, but at least it kind of picking up a little bit.
It's getting better. It's getting better. You know, there's still more to go because it could always be better.
True.
You know, I'm not going to say that there has not been no progress because there has been progress.
True.
Of course, you know, but any dancer and you could run up on them, or if you're on TikTok and comment on the video and be like, what is being a dancer easy or hard? A lot of people will be like, it's challenging. You know, because you get more no's than yeses.
Makes sense.
So when you get like a job, you gotta be like, okay,
you gotta really mash work.
Get his job, you know. And especially for me, living in a place like the BVA, you know, if it wasn't for people like myself, Sarah, Shama, Hakeem, you know, Dennis, the OGs, Latisha, Sherelle, and so forth, you know, the twins, Lala, and Latisha, you know, where would dance be right now in the BVA?
What if?
Because it's because of us is why people are like, you know what? We still keeping this culture alive. We still keeping it going. You know? So it's hard because there's no help from the government. You know? There's businesses out there, and I'll say this here right now, personal to all you guys out there that be helping the dance community. Trust me, we appreciate you. And we love you. Continue to support, you know, but with the bigger people now, like the government and so forth, to be like, I think what is crazy is that you don't see them putting anything in place to build the next generation or to make the next generation feel like, hey, I could make a career out of this. There's a lot of people in school who be like, they want to be in the arts. You don't particularly have to be dancing. You know, they could be like, man, I want to be the best drummer. I want to be the best guitarist. You know, I want to be the best singer. I want to be the best artist, you know, and so forth. But we don't have anything in place to help mold those things. You have people, you have individuals who are very passionate
about it
and love what they do, where they be like, you know what, let me create a school for anybody that wants to learn. They say, like the Brett Hoyts who have homegrown and so forth, and molding young ones to be like, you know, drummers and big in the music industry in terms of like playing instruments and so forth.
I feel like is more so like they're too stuck on like the traditional career, like the traditional career like roles or whatever you want to call it. Like what is it? What am I always say when when you're in school? Become doctor, lawyer, like
this and that. Like the world has evolved where there's multiple ways of making a living for yourself.
True.
You know, the world has evolved. You know, people know making money off of just creating 30-second videos on a platform.
Wow.
You know, making comedy videos,
skits
like say like you know, if you know him, Certified Samson.
From Trinidad.
Yeah, he has turned his skits into a legitimate business.
Literally.
Where he
got ice cream
shops, he got stores and so forth, merchandise and so forth,
partnerships and stuff like that.
Exactly. And he's partnering with people, and people be like, you know what? Wow, I want to partner with him because his videos
his reach,
like up 100,000 views, and he's just from Trinidad.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? So there's multiple ways. Like if somebody said, "Man, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to vlog." You know,
people want to crucify you for that.
Yeah, people would be like, "What kind of?" People would be like, "What kind of career is that?"
And
I'd be like, "Do you know how much a YouTuber to make?" But, especially if you break out and you get you know, because I always tell people it's not an easy road. It's not an easy road.
But when you do get through,
but when you do break through, you know, it's very fulfilling, and it could change your life.
True that.
You know?
But like, especially like when I had like wanted to do like film or just media on a whole, but I used to get crucified. Hey, what you want to do that for? When you want to become an electrician, this, that, and the third. But it's like if you're passionate about something, like a lot of young people, they're passionate about stuff that's not like the traditional career stuff, right? So if they're passionate about something and they ain't doing it just for jokes and they really like want to do it, let them do it. If they get you, them get you. If they fail, they just go to a different thing. You understand?
Exactly.
Like I had one of my old classmates. He was on the pod as well. Like he said, just try everything. Cause like I mean, for me, I did like so much stuff. I did track, volleyball, all these other different type of sports, and like I still a musician at the same time, but I want to make music at a point in time. But then as I like try film, it just click with me. You understand? So
And that's the whole point of it, like when you growing up and you trying to find your way and discover what's the thing that you feel is best for you. You gotta try everything.
True.
Like me, I went through the same type of process, I played baseball, I did soccer, I did track and field, I even spent like 2 weeks doing tennis. Just to even try to see, like, just to see if I like
if you really like it,
if I like it, you know. So you have to try and you have to do and you have to find out what works for you. And then when you find that thing, you go and you hold on to it and you grab it. Like me now, I dance and now I'm doing music, So I finding a new love. I still have my love for dance, but now finding my new love for making music because it's in a way to me kind of like similar. It's the creative process that I just like to do. I like to write songs. I like to, and now I'm breaking out of my shell and be like, you know what, I want to pursue music now too as well, and see what I think. I can't live with myself knowing like you have a passion for something, and I think everybody should really start living like that. You have a passion for something, go and do it.
True.
And if it works for you, it works. But you can at least say
You tried.
you tried and you did it.
No regrets.
Well, you can't live with it. You have heavy regrets where you be like, man, what if I had actually do it and that
And
thing
it'll
turned
get
out to
you,
change your life and so forth now. So always go after what you feel to go after.
That is true. That is true. All right, so I can transition a little bit from the. Actually, no. I want to touch on a point that you made. We ain't trying to show shade, no shade at the government or the entities there to speak of, but like you said, like there's really no help in regards to the arts. So, with that said, do you think that there's anything really missing from the BVI dance scene at all?
Support.
Support.
Like I said, is a support. Because when you see like us now, like with me doing Toon Entertainment, and also with that Elevated Dance Company, which is I'm one of the founding members. Is the support, and I'm talking about people who have the means and the needs to be able to help to make it easier for us. Outside of that is all on us. It's all on us. It's off our backs to put on a show. It's off our backs to like people didn't even know like. Wow, we did 2 shows. We did one at the UPs in Cinema One on the stage, and then we did our second show up in Puzzle by Kili by the daycare in the yard in the lawn, right? And those were shows that we did solely on our own. We've come to people, we've come to them, and we be like, any way you want help. Of course, there's other people that help behind the scenes and so forth, and give thanks to you guys, But it's just the support, because you see what the talent is down here. You see what we are capable of.
True.
And now it's like, you just be like I said, we want true shade. We want true shade, but I'd call it the tattoo life effect. What I'm about to say right now is the tattoo life effect.
Okay.
Government only get involved when you make it.
Athletics.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you make it is when they want to get involved.
And that's too late.
It's too late. When my boy make it into the NBA, they was like, hey, try a whole parade and then be like, give me my check. I'm pretty sure that check can't even pay for the man coaches. You know?
That is literally how it is, because
That's it. You want the fake imagery of
I would have been supporting you from
I've been
since.
supporting you from day one.
Yeah.
When you well know you wasn't there for scratch. You know, you wasn't there when I was like, how I going get ahead. You wasn't there when I went college. You know, you wasn't there doing nothing. You know, it was all me by myself.
And as I
It was
make it,
Kyron by himself.
wow,
You know what I'm saying?
that is no, that's true. No, that you really
Like
think it's
literally,
honestly
people don't
true.
notice. Like people were like when Kyron became Kyron, when Kyron first step on the professional scene, people don't know Kyron should be training right there.
Wow.
People like me, Shakoy,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I cool with Kyron, you know, but of course he had his fast lane teammates like
Yeah.
Shakoy, Timal, you know, and them man they helping him Ronik and all them by out there helping that man train.
Wow.
That man used to be training professionally right out there. God rest his soul, you know, his first head coach, Dag Samuel, you know, right there.
Not that you really mention it, like that is a very true point,
Yeah.
It's
Kyron
like,
was a professional runner, still driving truck.
and still like 'cause he had a podcast with I forget the dude name, man. The dude who went against, I think is not Tyson Gill, man. Gatlin.
No, Justin Gatlin. He
Yeah,
was
the
Justin
man,
Gatlin podcast,
yeah.
and he was telling
The
he was
man,
telling the
the man
story
said, I
like he
still doing
was
asphalt, and I still
exactly
wow.
like he would do training, go get a truck, go get asphalt, go on a job,
Pay
lay
the
out
road.
asphalt, and then go back in the afternoon, go train again. Man, working on 9 to 5 still while he was training as a pro athlete.
That's inspirational.
Yeah.
And then like going back to that point, like it's a lot of fake support out here for you, because people like I ain't saying that like the government or whoever bad talking these people from getting to what it is in life, but
Yeah.
as you say, like people only with you when you achieve what you set out to achieve. They're not with you from day one.
Exactly.
And
Me, you sugarcoat it. I would say it's still fake support.
still,
Yeah, I would call it fake support 100% because you only there know when I there. You know, it's like saying like if you have a life partner, in your life, right? Would you prefer a life partner that went through the dirt with you and then you achieve success? So you know, like if you ever have to go back to the dirt, to them low periods in time.
she wasn't just with you for.
She wasn't with you just for the thing there. Is a difference when like somebody come into your life now and you got it and then you hit rock bottom and then them somebody
just gone.
dip.
I'm glad you put it that way. Yeah, I would prefer the first one, which is the one who been with you from day one.
You want somebody who been there with you when you were at your low and help you
to achieve the high.
Your height.
Yeah.
You know, because you know if you ever have to go back to that low again, you'd be like, she ready to tap in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
You can't have somebody be like, you know, they just come with you when you're at your highest. You know, and they don't know what a low period is or know what struggle is. So when they get put in that position, you know, I ain't gonna say everybody ain't crumble, but some of them just ain't nobody. Some certain people just ain't accustomed to that. They'll be like, no, I can't do this.
You can't handle.
No. Be like, oh, I've been living this lifestyle all my life, and I got don't live my lifestyle. No. I can't think. Nobody don't ever like the fact of going back to ground zero.
True. Well, life, because I had a Deja on the podcast as well. Like what she said is, life ain't linear, and that's true. Like everything ain't just a straight line. No. Even when you successful, rich, or whatever the case is, you're going to have down days.
Exactly.
So yeah. Okay, but speaking about, let me say, Kyrie and Adeja and what's not, we also know you to be an athlete.
Yeah.
Head coach now. I mean, not head coach. I mean, assistant coach. My bad. So, can you tell us more about like your early years in athletics? Because you were a dancer in what was it? High school.
Yeah.
Third farm and then fifth farm. So how was like life, like
Yeah, back then, like in high school, around them times there, I would say, just to put it out there, dance was more like a hobby for me. So I would juggle. Track was my main goal. It would be track, and then it would be dancing just on a hobby on the back end of things. So growing up, track was my main thing. I was always good, from primary school days. I was always on the national teams for Leewoods, NACAC juniors, all them stuff there. So thing there. Miss Potter was my coach back in primary school. She moved away. She moved away. I had a incident. I don't really know up to this day what the incident was, but all I knew was she was told that okay, you can't train no high school athletes. Like say like me, very fifth form. I mean in class 5, and I got high school now. Like she no longer could train me because I in high school.
also she was like a kid coach. I mean, children
Yeah,
coach.
she was a PE teacher in Altus Catholic.
Oh, okay.
So because I used to go Altus Catholic, she was like the big dog. She was one of the main reasons Altus Catholic used to win.
Or all them inter-primary and stuff.
Inter-primary and so forth and everything there. Cause she used to train us, like really, really train us. So all when we were going high school, it was like she's still our coach. Like you get me here, why not?
Why not continue?
Why not continue?
Yeah.
But so and so forth. Say like, okay, they're in high school now, so we in charge of them now. You can't think that, and that rubbed her the wrong way. And she moved away. She went to St. Thomas, and I really didn't do track again until like fourth form in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's only because former principal Miss Amy, who was like the head of House 4, came up to me at there and she'd be like, "Hey, Khiry, I know you to dance and so forth. I just need you to run a 1500 and a thing for sports, just to give us
just get some points. Yeah.
And I went out there and I compete against people who train on a daily basis, and I placed. I was like getting second and third and so forth. And other coaches saw me and they was like, you know what, let me come train with me, let me do this and so forth. And Dean Greenaway got me, and I did another season after that in fifth form, and literally, went to Carifta, went to NACAC, went to junior championships and so forth. Any junior championships that I qualified for, I just went to. You know, went away to indoor meets and so forth. And yeah.
So, can you tell us about like Carifta? Like, how was it really, qualifying, and do you think it's the same as it was back then compared to now?
The athletes know, I would say, well, at least in my opinion, they are talented. They are very talented. I might even go as far as saying they're more talented than us. The only thing I would give my era and the era before them over them is a drive or the work ethic. Me as an assistant coach, I train kids and I be like, them not complain.
Go run a lap. Coach, me if
be like, okay, you got this workout here today. Like, and coach, we really gotta do this. I had saying like, when you do a workout, you gotta do this workout for 3 weeks straight. And then when that 3 weeks done, you get a new program. Why you still complaining about the same? Why you still complaining about the same workout? Like, there's one or two things you're gonna do it or you're not going to do.
True.
That's your choices.
True.
So I just think it's just like the work ethic. Talent wise, they are very talented. Super talented. Like I said, they're probably more talented than us. But the one thing I could say is that our work ethic is different. Like when I used to show up to training and so forth, I never used to complain about nothing.
Can't complain, but I gotta do
I ain't
workout.
even think that here saying like when your mom is like, you know what, hey, I can't afford to send you to college, so
You got easy there. You gonna make it or
you gonna
yeah,
make it or you not gonna make it,
yeah.
you know, or take a loan out or whatever the case is. But you know situation, and that's cool. Yeah, that's
Yeah. That's
understandable,
understandable. Yeah.
So me track and field, you just have to work hard.
I feel like yeah, back then too, you had to work hard like in anything. Like if you look at Mike Tyson, same way. Like man, he just used to mash work, and he said the same thing about his son. It was his son, right? He was saying that his son, like the man grew up soft, basically. Like they're so cushioned that they wouldn't survive in, or they wouldn't survive in what he went through. And like literally the entire drive behind the reason he was great is different because he wanted to, what was it, I think he had got bullied when he was younger, and then as he got older he didn't want to get bullied again, and then the whole that's what really pushed him. But his son only doing it just for the fame, or doing it just because it's his father. The drive ain't the same.
I told people like going to character. Why for me, like I advocate that more athletes experience or get a chance to experience character is so that they could see a different level. When I went to character, my first year going to character, I experienced like in to say like I didn't experience outside competition because I've been doing that since I was a little kid, But this is me experiencing outside competition in terms of like on a junior level. So me going to Carifta, that helped me and light a fire under me,
To get
being
better.
like, yo, I thought I
You
was
thought I was the
walking.
baddest.
I thought
Yeah.
I was walking.
Yeah.
But I only the baddest here in this 24 square mile thing there. And then a couple other people, 'cause I ain't like I come dead last or anything like that. But I see what I gotta do. So that just light a fire under me. And the thing is, that's why I kind of like want more kids to experience, because I've seen it where kids go to Carifta and then when they come back, they're like, yo,
The man bad.
I point in work. They used to complain, now they're like, nah, you have people out of me.
Wow.
They're just going and they're just going and they're going and they're going to get it, and their work ethic change because some people need that. Some people just need that little light to light that fire underneath them for them to be better.
True.
Because you could tell somebody and be like, yo, work harder.
True.
But at the end of the day, it always goes back to how it comes down to them.
True that.
So
When you was an athlete, what was your like main event? Was it like hurdles, jumping?
me, I did hurdles. I did hurdles right. I did hurdles down to before I stopped track. So I quit track. I would say either at the age of 27. I would say 27, either 27 or 28. Yeah. So I like completely just quit track. Like I no longer had no goals to,
Makes sense.
do anything further with it. My main events were the 800 and the 400. Yeah.
Okay. So you said that you quit track. So how was that transition between, being an athlete to then now being an assistant coach? How was the
It was pretty easy, because even though I was an athlete, in a sense, I was still kind of like coaching at the same time because I was like a captain on my team. So, I was always in a position where, like I have to help out or I have to encourage my teammates or even at times when I finish training, I got to train them, So it was like a very easy and smooth transition, because it was something that I was pretty much kind of like accustomed to already, because I was already like in a position of like almost like an assistant coach, even though I was an active athlete. I would be like, okay, say like we have a group training. Sometimes the coach would be like, okay, you come in for 9, everybody else come in for 10. By the time they warming up, I'm pretty much done. So I get to relax, and if I sticking around and so forth, he'll be like, okay, I got 10 goals, about to go and train. You take these 5, and head coach be like, I take these 5. This is their workout. Bam, bam, bam. So it was kind of like a smooth transition into being like an assistant coach.
So was it coaching something that you wanted to do all along, or you just went into it on some spontaneous vibes?
It was like some spontaneous vibes, very spontaneous vibes. Me, I'm a helpful person. So like if I view and see where I could help another person be better than what I was, I would help them. And that's how I view coaching. I pass down knowledge that I have that they don't, to them to make them better. Some of them could be like, oh, he tough, he raw, but that's how it is. I don't know how to do it anyway or any other way other than just raw and straightforward. Like, you want to do this, you gotta do this. You want to be the best at it, this is what you gotta do.
Indeed.
You be like, track and field, like keep telling like anybody that works for me, I think that you are going to feel pain.
What was it? No game without pain, right? That's it.
No pain, no game.
No gain. I can't remember.
No pain, no gain, or no pain, no game. Somewhere.
Yeah.
I know the saying, but track and field is one of them sports where you are going to feel pain. And if you're afraid of pain, you in the wrong. Don't do the sport. Because track and field is one of them sports there where you're going to feel it. Every training session,
you're going hot.
It's going hot. It is going to hot.
I remember my days, my son. I used to train fast, like my son. I used to kill we.
Yeah, like I said, like when you come there, you have to come with you have to be mentally strong to be a track athlete. Anybody that look at track and just say like, oh, that look easy or whatever the case is, really don't know what I'm gonna be talking about. I've met people who are saying like, oh man, I could come and do that. I don't know, so hard. And I invite them to a training session.
Dead.
And after they done, they couldn't even finish the workout.
Sure.
I said like, I thought you said it was easy though. And you see their whole perspective of everything change. But like I say, track is not easy. It's one of the hardest sports to prepare for. But still at the same time, you don't get much recognition for it.
Because I feel like even the biggest track athletes, they're not really.
They don't get paid. They don't get no paid like big bucks like that. Unless your name is Usain Bolt, where you had like Puma deals and
all kind of
multiple multi-million-dollar commercials and sponsored brands them coming towards you. You really ain't see money like that.
True.
So even like people like say like for like Noah Lyles and them and like people hate Noah Lyles.
Why I mean like
right? Like me, even I got my times. I can't stand him. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Do I hate him? Where it's like I don't respect him as a talented athlete. Yes, he's a talented athlete. I just look at it from a point of view now where it's like he just does what he does because he needs to gain attention, and the more attention he gains, the more money that comes his way.
And I kind of realize it. You just see it in on social media as well. People would willfully say wrong information on a post or a video to boost engagement or to force people to comment, because that's how they make money. But like he is talented. Don't get me wrong, but there's times when he just says some nonsense and be like, bro, what is going on?
Yeah. He does say some things because he can provoke a reaction out of people.
True.
You know what I'm saying? But I always tell people that here saying like he does what he does, but only way if you want to shut him up is to go out there and beat him.
True that. And
know?
nobody ain't
And
really
until
doing
you
that.
beat him, he ain't continue talk.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So people will be like, oh, he's this, he's that, he's doing this. So like, has he lost though?
Oh, okay. Speaking on him losing, what do you think about that the 200 Olympics final performance by him? Because I mean, he went out there, he was hype, and then
Well, according to what he said and according to what the Olympic Committee said, he did indeed have COVID. Now I know a lot of people looking at like, okay, why was this not said earlier?
yeah,
You know, and I do agree with people like if it was said earlier in terms of like, okay, this man doing this, but he running on COVID, they wouldn't look at it as okay because you lose now, you're using COVID as an excuse.
yeah, because that's what
That's where everybody look at it as and be like, okay, you know, you said you have COVID after you lose.
Yeah.
You know, and so forth. So, you know, my whole thing on the situation was it should have been said earlier. You know, there's multiple sources coming out now. Like if you watch the Sprint documentary and so forth, you would see the behind the scenes that he actually did have COVID.
Oh, he actually did. Okay.
Yeah. So if you guys ain't seen it, if you want more information, you could go on Netflix and watch the Sprint series where it gave like the whole behind the scenes of the Olympics with the athletes, him being one of them, and so forth. And you would see that he tested positive for it. He had something. I don't know if it was COVID, but he had something.
Something similar.
Yeah, and he was very much quarantined from other people. Like people couldn't be around him.
Ooh.
You know.
I mean, Olympics is like a once in a 4 years thing, so he kind of had to compete same way.
So it's like either he'd be like, you know what, can't hurt, and to give him his props to, even if he had COVID, the man still win a medal.
May he come to it, yeah.
Still win a medal. You know, if he was healthy, we'll see.
True.
We'll see.
Because I mean, the 200 is his event, you know. So
yeah, 200 is his event. That's his bread and butter. He don't like to lose that. You know.
But so, from Botswana wanted him more, listen.
Yeah, but look. This is just my general opinion. You know, I would say it would have been a faster time if he was healthy. Would he have won it? It's up in the air because of how good he is at the 200.
True.
But based off of what let's see Tobago, what he was running now, because his mom died and he was running he was running for his mom too. Yeah. You know, outside of him getting the water, he said his main drive was to make sure he win that
for his mother. Mom. Yeah.
So when somebody got drive like that,
true.
It's gonna be hard to be like to beat them. But if he was healthy, I would have loved to see what a race would have been.
True that.
You know?
Cause like what did they say? You gotta be fair to the person who have nothing to lose or all to gain.
Exactly.
So yeah. All right. Well, if you have any questions, let me know before I ask this final question, because I ask all my guests this question. So if you have any questions,
yeah, man, hit me.
Huh? Hit you? Okay. So I ask every guest that comes on here because you know we are Virgin Islanders, and you know Virgin Islanders love their tat, right? So you know we got pineapple, we got guava berry, coconut. See what I say the best for last, but. The question is, what is in fact the best tat that has ever graced these islands we call the Virgin Islands? Crazy
enough, right? I just like my tat.
Okay.
Whoever my tat is, I can never say it's the best tat. Whatever case is. I like it because it's for me. And I just know whatever I like, people ain't think there. So me, I like guava berry tat and I like coconut tat.
Okay.
So those are my two top tats.
Okay.
I'll probably say coconut first and then guava berry second for me.
I like that.
You know, but you know everybody else got his beef thing there, and Brent ain't helping his heck. No,
I tell it
at all, because the disrespect this man putting on coconut tat.
The man saying coconut tat, right?
Like you know what really crossed me the day when for one of his video them when I sucked pouring gravel.
No, the man said this is how you make the man take the gravel.
This is how you make coconut tat, I will cry so bad because I said like, Brent, I really want to know who gave this man a coconut tat that gave him this experience to be like, yo, gravel is the best way to make this tat.
Yeah.
You know? So me, people, if you like your tat, you like your tat.
True.
Some people like pineapple tat, they'll be like, okay, you like what you like.
Yeah.
You know, my main ones is basically coconut and guava berry.
I personally can't rock with the guava and the guava berry. I more like the coconut and pineapple. Like at first I used to hate pineapple, just after the fact that the tart was over the cases. But like I had pineapple tart over the holidays, and I'm like, yo, this here really tastes nice.
I think for me with the pineapple, but maybe just who I get my pineapple tart from. Like the first time I tried, it was like too sweet for me. You know, so I like my tart, but I like that nice
the natural feel. Yeah,
I like that nice consistency. You know, that have like all the perfect balance of everything.
Yeah.
You know, if it's like something like too sweet, I'd be like, ain't bad, but it's just too sweet. Like if it's too sweet, it can remind me of candy.
True.
And if it's candy, cause me eating candy right
now. Yeah,
eating
a tart. Yeah.
So me want to be tasting something that reminds me of candy.
True. What do you think about kiwi and mango tart?
Kiwi and mango. I never had them. Like for me, I don't to try things at least once. And if I like it, I like it, and if I don't, I don't.
True, simple.
You know, is kiwi. You know, I would try it, but I would try for somebody who I know is very high level in making tarts. You know, because they'll find a nice way to make it proper. You know. And so forth. I won't just eat it from anybody. I have to know, like, okay, this person who I know been making tarts. That recipe passed on from their grandmother and all kind of thing.
Yeah, you know that tag me banging.
Yeah,
you know that tag me.
You know, so definitely, yeah. I would try it. It seemed like it would taste good. You know,
me personally, I don't like for kiwi. I feel like so
that's
stuff
the
you
one
just
I
can't.
kind of iffy about.
Yeah,
I iffy about because I hear like kiwi and a tart. I hear like
it don't sound right. It don't sound right.
Yeah, I don't even know how the heck they look.
Just green.
It's just green, like hey.
Green tart. Nah. I think mango gonna have like more like unique flavor.
Yeah, I think mango gonna look almost similar to almost like a pineapple.
Yeah, but it's like more like brightish yellow. But
yeah,
kiwi doesn't look green. Just
I'd be like. But like
but
I said,
don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah, I'll try it. You know, but definitely it's a tatwa thing. You know, everybody got a style, and it's always between guava berry and coconut.
Yeah.
You know, I like both. It just depends on what I'm feeling for.
True.
Around that time and that season, you know, which one I want to eat. But I eat either one.
Makes sense. You know? Well, Khiry, I really appreciate for you coming on the pod. You know, it was a blessing.
That's fine, my brother.
For sure.
Thank you.
All right, but anyways, guys, I'll check you guys on the next episode of. But then again, hold up. Give us or give people, dancers, athletes, or anybody, get them a little motivation. You know, as they go through life.
Yeah. Motivation, I would always say, is very old school. Work hard, but still at the same time work smart. You know, set goals for yourselves. Always try to achieve those goals in the set time that you set for yourself. And even if you don't achieve them in those set times for yourself, don't be defeated. You know, everything comes when it's supposed to come. But as long as your work ethic is good and consistent, you should always do good in life. So always work hard, people, but at the same time, work smart, you know, and yeah, do your best, always. You know, always strive for your goals, never settle, you know. Go out and try your best to always achieve them, you know. Don't live your life with no regrets and saying like, man, what if I did that? What if I did it, or you know, and so forth. You know, go out and achieve your goals. Where you know you could sleep good at night knowing that, hey, I did it. it didn't work out, or if it did work out, those are your two options. But just go out and always try and achieve your goals. Don't live life with no regrets. Always go out, no matter how old you are. If you're still capable of doing it, go out and do it.
For you. For you. Anyways, guys, check you guys on the next episode of the Carry Unplugged. Peace out.
Blessings.